To everyone's surprise, they discover it's Sakamoto, who used helium in his voice to expose the lie. Mai-chan begins questioning them to confess. Morita grabs the Yeti balloon, ready to pop it and confess that they destroyed the balloons, threatening to do it again. They justify their actions, saying that despite all the work they did, not a single person came to see the exhibit, considering it a failure. Sakamoto intervenes with a balloon gun, demanding they release the Yeti hostage or he will shoot. They mock him, saying he can't shoot a balloon gun. But they get scared when Sakamoto manages to pop a balloon, claiming he missed his aim and won't miss again. They claim it's a fluke, but he pops 2 more balloons, making them scared. About to pop more, Morita jumps to cover the display. That's when Sakamoto smiles and reveals there's no real harm. Kubota is the one popping the balloons. The sunlight has been bouncing off Kubota's mirror and popping the balloons, creating a humorous twist to the situation. Finally, the boys apologize and confess that they destroyed the balloons because they felt left out and jealous of the fun everyone was having while working together. They were misled by Fukase's words, including the creation of Sakamoto's wanted posters. They decide to join and work together to finish the exhibition display. However, they've run out of balloons and helium. Following Sakamoto's idea, they get creative and use Hayabusa's cotton candy to create a special presentation that attracts a lot of people to their exhibit. At Gabukun High School, the cold weather kept the courtyard empty during lunchtime. 3 girls decide to have lunch there, enjoying the quiet and the nice view. In the background, Sakamoto and Kubota are dealing with their lunch, trying not to burn themselves. Sakamoto is even juggling his food. Megumi watches them and remembers how she met Sakamoto, telling her story. It happened in February last year during the entrance exams. Megumi's hand was shaking from the cold and nerves. She accidentally dropped her eraser during the exam, and Sakamoto tried to help, almost touching her hand while trying to catch it. But he caught it before it fell, warmed it up with friction, and gave it back, which warmed her hands, allowing her to write her exam. Since then, Megumi keeps that eraser as a good luck charm. Then Mai-chan shares her story. On the rainy entrance ceremony day, everyone had trouble getting to school. Mai-chan's favorite umbrella broke, and she felt sorry for Sakamoto, whose umbrella turned inside out too. But then, Sakamoto surprised her by expertly collecting rainwater with the flipped umbrella. He made the rainy day feel like a celebration, and now rainy days are delightful for Mai-chan. Finally, Kana tells her story. The day before the entrance ceremony, she went to get her books in the cafeteria but forgot her bag. Carrying all her books, she bumped into Sakamoto and tripped. Miraculously, Sakamoto held her books like a princess, and none of them got scratched. Since then, Kana feels like she should take better care of her things. For the girls, these moments with Sakamoto become special memories, each thinking their encounter is the best. Later, Kubota and Sakamoto walk past them, and Kubota reminds Sakamoto of the day they met. At first, Sakamoto doesn't remember, but Kubota helps him recall. On that day, Kubota had a weird wart on his hand, and he was trying to hide it with a band-aid. The band-aid came loose, and Sakamoto picked it up, putting it back on his finger like an impromptu ring. Even so, Sakamoto doesn't remember this, so he says sorry. The girls, after hearing the stories, decide that Kubota's encounter was the most romantic. In class, Sakamoto reads aloud, captivating the class, while Kubota is entranced by Sakamoto's presence. When it's Kubota's turn to read, he's lost in thought, and the teacher playfully suggests he might be looking at someone he likes, causing laughter. Kubota reads, while recalling Kobayashi informing his mother, Shijimi, about his academic success due to Sakamoto's influence. The next day Kubota falls ill, and his mother tells him to rest while she informs the school about him. However, Shijimi attends school in his place, posing as her son to be close to Sakamoto. In the cooking class, Sakamoto impresses everyone, and Kubota surprises everyone by excelling in making miso soup, mentioning he learned from his mother. As Sakamoto tastes the dish, he compliments its deep flavor. He offers a taste to Kubota. Shijimi struggles to contain her excitement. However, just as she's about to taste the miso from where Sakamoto has brought his lips, Aina steals the plate, and all the girls fight to have an indirect kiss with Sakamoto. Shijimi gives Aina a hateful look but remembers she has to act as her son and control her rage. In the next scene, they need to change for physical education and find themselves in the locker room. Shijimi tries to resist the temptation to sneak a peek at Sakamoto's abs, but ultimately decides to run away to keep her composure. The PE class begins, and they have to run around the track. Kakuta gets angry seeing Sakamoto showing off by running in the style of Darwin's evolutionary theory. Due to his great speed, Kakuta can't reprimand him. However, he suddenly sees Kubota, i.e. Shijimi, running alongside Sakamoto, surprising him greatly. Shijimi, longing to touch him, tries catching up but ends up falling, shattering her shell necklace. Sakamoto goes back and offers his hand to help her, but she refuses and leaves. Sakamoto overhears a comment from his classmates about Kubota's strange behavior that day. He also notices the broken shell, raising suspicions. In the classroom, Shijimi realizes Sakamoto sees her as her son, regretting missing a chance to connect with him. Morita and Yasuda's discussion about classmates' physiques alarms her. When they decide to test Kubota's chest, Shijimi is about to giving seeing no way out when Sakamoto cleverly distracts them, saving Shijimi. Overwhelmed by memories, Shijimi accepts her role as a mother and decides to go home to care for her son. It's Christmas time, and two guys were supposed to go on a fun friend date, but their friend didn't show up. Now, they need someone else to join them. In the distance, they see Sakamoto, who is checking how many people are in the area. The two guys go up to him and ask if he wants to come with them for a Christmas hangout. Sakamoto doesn't know what a friend date is, so they explain that it's when a bunch of people get together to talk and share things. They say it'll help him understand how people interact. Sakamoto says yes, and they all go to a karaoke place. At the table, the girls suggest they introduce themselves. The girls take turns introducing themselves. First, there's Miki, a college student, then there's her friends, Yuka and Yui. After that, the two boys introduce themselves. Ryu, a college student, and Kuhei, who is Ryu's buddy. Finally, Sakamoto introduces himself too. The girls are curious why he's wearing a school uniform, and Kuhei explains that Sakamoto likes to cosplay. Yuka and Yui express their romantic interests in Kuhei and Ryu, respectively. But surprisingly, none of the girls seem interested in Sakamoto. The boys discuss their dreams, with Ryu aspiring to own a bar and Kuhei set to take over his father's dental clinic. When the girls inquire about Sakamoto's dreams, he shares his ambition to work for NASA and find a new home for humanity due to Earth's uncertain future, capturing the girls' interest and making the boys nervous. To change the mood, Ryu suggests a loser pays a penalty game using a hippo toy to reveal whether someone is M or S. Sakamoto, initially confused, loses the game, but he skillfully manipulates the hippo's mouth with soft touches, leaving the girls intrigued and speculating about his gentle nature. Concerned about Sakamoto stealing the spotlight, Ryu attempts to showcase his singing skills during karaoke. Kuhei tries to disrupt Ryu, but Sakamoto surprises everyone by imitating a saxophone sound with his arm, further capturing the girls' attention. The girls want to sing now, but Sakamoto steals the spotlight by instantly finding the song they want. Feeling left out, Kuhei and Ryu team up against Sakamoto. They order drinks for everyone, including Sakamoto, whom they ordered 100% cola for. After tricking Sakamoto into drinking a glass of cola, they ask him to sing. Sakamoto agrees and surprises everyone by singing an opera song in German. The guys are thrilled, thinking Sakamoto picked a bad song since they believe girls don't like classical tunes. They're also eagerly waiting for Sakamoto to burp. But, even though the girls don't understand the language, they're enchanted by Sakamoto's beautiful singing voice. Suddenly, a bunch of girls show up at the door, drawn in by his singing. Ryu and Kuhei are still waiting for the burp, which finally comes, but Sakamoto cleverly hides it while singing flawlessly in German, impressing everyone. This brings even more girls into the karaoke place, all wanting to be with Sakamoto. Sakamoto notices that there are now too many people, breaking the crowd rules, so he decides to leave, thanking everyone. In the end, Kuhei and Ryu are by themselves in the karaoke bar as the girls follow Sakamoto. Later, we find Hayabusa at home dealing with his siblings, trying to fill the gap left by their absent mother. His father, feeling the need for a motherly figure, invites Hayabusa to a French dinner that evening to introduce someone who could become their new mother. Although Hayabusa isn't entirely comfortable with the idea, he agrees for the sake of his siblings. His father, wanting Hayabusa to act like a wealthy heir, Hayabusa seeks help from Sakamoto to teach him etiquette. Sakamoto explains that elegance takes time to learn but is willing to assist. He gives Hayabusa the task of finding a new jacket, size XL. Sakamoto comes up with a plan. He'll hide behind Hayabusa, acting as his hands for food prep, and Hayabusa only needs to chew what Sakamoto puts in his mouth. During dinner, the partner questions Hayabusa's strong appearance, thinking it's from martial arts. To salvage the situation, Sakamoto creates art with a napkin, and Hayabusa mentions that he fights for peace. The father, in a tight spot, says his son's strength comes from making offerings at the peace monument. The waiter brings snails, which Hayabusa dislikes. Despite trying for his siblings, he can't eat them. Sakamoto turns it into a challenge, making the snails seem like they're challenging Hayabusa. Encouraged, Hayabusa fights back and eats them. During dessert, the chef asks how was the meal and his father partner asks him to reply in French. And Hayabusa, unsure, tries various words. Sakamoto writes excellent on his plate, saving the situation. After leaving the restaurant, Hayabusa says goodbye to his father as the woman invites him for a private conversation. On the way home, Hayabusa talks to Sakamoto about the woman potentially becoming their mother and acknowledges he has much to learn. However, they get lost since they are not in their usual territory. As they continue walking, Hayabusa comes across some thugs who intend harm to his father and his partner. Sakamoto advises him that if he gets involved, the woman will know he's a thug, revealing their earlier deception. To maintain their cover, Hayabusa suggests switching roles, with Sakamoto becoming the face of the confrontation, while Hayabusa handles the physical part as the hidden hands. Sakamoto confronts the thugs, and in an instant, Hayabusa's hands swiftly defeat all of them. However, when the father runs and hides behind Sakamoto, he confesses that the woman is an extortionist, and the entire dinner was a ploy orchestrated by his elder son to help him and his younger siblings. One thug tries to attack Sakamoto from behind with a pole, but Hayabusa blocks it with his arm, injuring himself. As it starts snowing, Sakamoto begins telling a story about a boy who loved his family so much that he tried French cuisine, mutating because he lacked antibodies. They manage to trick everyone into believing Hayabusa's body has mutated, now having 4 arms. This terrifies the thugs, making them flee. In the chaos, Hayabusa's father faints. In the end, Hayabusa must carry his father on his back all the way home, reflecting on the unexpected turn of events. In the big city, something super special is happening. It's the first time it's snowed in years. Sakamoto and Kubota are on their way to school. Kubota is grumbling about how chilly it is, but Sakamoto is just in his regular school clothes. He tells Kubota that he's never seen snow on the ground before, surprising his friend. Kubota thinks he doesn't know much about Sakamoto yet but believes he'll find out everything soon. At Sushi, one of their pals makes an awesome snow rabbit. Mario and Kenken are amazed. Sakamoto joins them, and Atsushi says he knows it's Sakamoto's first time seeing snow. He offers to teach Sakamoto how to play in the snow. Sakamoto is grateful and pays close attention. Atsushi says the first thing to do is leave your shape in the snow just for anyone passing by to see. Sakamoto wonders why, and Atsushi says there's no special reason. Then, it's Sakamoto's turn, and instead of just falling anywhere, he lands on Atsushi's snow shape. The two shapes together make Mario think he's seen it before, like a drawing by Leonardo DiCaprio or a symbol for metabolism in medicine books. Sakamoto agrees, saying it looks like a human diagram found in medicine books. Later, Atsushi shows Sakamoto how to make a snowman. Sakamoto notices it's a bit wobbly and decides to add more snowballs, even though Atsushi says not to. The new snowman ends up being tall with 9 balls. Kenken and Mario love it and ask Sakamoto for tips. Atsushi gets upset because he feels Sakamoto is doing way better than he taught, and he can't measure up. Out of nowhere, Fukase shows up, cheering on Atsushi to challenge Sakamoto to a snowball fight. Fukase thinks Atsushi needs to propose this challenge if he wants Sakamoto to notice him. Atsushi takes the advice and challenges Sakamoto to a snowball duel, with one simple rule. Whoever gets hit by a snowball is the loser. Sakamoto agrees, and the duel begins. Atsushi is pretty sure he's going to win, but he can't manage to hit Sakamoto even once. Sakamoto dodges all of Atsushi's snowballs, and when Sakamoto fights back, it's crazy fast, like a machine gun. Atsushi ends up hiding and can't throw any snowballs himself. He decides to wait for Sakamoto to run out of snowballs, but the cold is bothering him a lot, while Sakamoto seems totally fine. Sakamoto wraps something in the snow and tosses it toward Atsushi. Atsushi thinks it's a bomb, so he tries a surprise attack, but he gets hit by Sakamoto's snowball instead. Atsushi loses the game, but he feels warm. Turns out, Sakamoto put hand warmers inside the snowballs, and even the snowball Sakamoto rolled to him had a hand warmer. Sakamoto had hand warmers inside his jacket, so the cold didn't bother him. Feeling defeated, Atsushi goes home alone, crying because, to Sakamoto, it wasn't a real duel. While he's crying, Fukase comes by, saying Atsushi wouldn't be in this mess if Sakamoto wasn't around. The next day, as the snow melts, Sakamoto creates a new home for his bird friends. Morita, reflecting on the end of his first year, feels a sense of nostalgia. Meanwhile, Megumi plans to showcase photos from the entire year. Mai-chan discovers an elegant photo of Sakamoto taken by Megumi during a rainy day. The girls are impressed, and they request copies of these artworks. Megumi reveals a bold photo of Sakamoto taken during a marathon turning point, creating a demand for copies among the girls. Atsushi, attempting to act cool, refrains from requesting one. Kenken and Mario seek Atsushi for an emergency meeting, but he dismisses them, acting strangely. During the meeting, Maruyama shares that Fukase won't graduate due to excessive absences, and they'll be classmates next year. Boys inquire about rumors regarding Fukase's failure to graduate, and Hayabusa suggests that Fukase might be searching for something, advising others to hold on to their beliefs and not be manipulated by Fukase. Concerned about Atsushi's absence, Hayabusa learns from Mario and Kenken that Atsushi has been acting peculiar. Back in the classroom, the girls persistently ask Megumi for more Sakamoto photos. Sira tries to garner attention with a story from their beach trip, but the boys tease him about his weight. Kubota's accidental inclusion in the ladies' photo creates confusion as they can't believe he's the local diver at the beach that day. Aina's embarrassment over a photo catches the boys' attention, and they ask for copies, which was her plan. The girls express interest in Sakamoto's swim trunks photos, but Megumi didn't capture any. Yagi and Tanaka discover a photo where Megumi accidentally captured Sakamoto in swim trunks, creating a demand for large copies. The day ends with everyone expressing gratitude for being part of class, except for Atsushi, who leaves the classroom. Alone, he holds a picture from the beach trip, recalling the moment when friends tried to prevent him from diving. Wanting to prove himself like Sakamoto, Fukase appears, offering to teach him how to regain himself and destroy Sakamoto. Atsushi burns the picture, agreeing to Fukase's offer. Fast forward to the 57th graduation day at the high school. Everyone is all dressed up for the big day, but there's this one first-year boy named Sira who's in a funny situation. He's half naked and snoozing away, just like some other first-year kids. The student giving the farewell speech is a guy named Sakamoto, and he's got a surprise for everyone. Sakamoto stands up during the speech and gets everyone excited, especially the first-year kids. He tosses a volleyball into the air and, surprise, it knocks another lost ball free from the graduating boys. Sakamoto catches it like a superhero and says it's a special memento. Then he starts his speech, saying thank you and giving advice not to regret their 3 years in high school. But wait, there's a twist. While Sakamoto is talking, Atsushi shows up with a steel bat. Oh no, Kakuta tries to stop him, but Atsushi almost hits him on the head. Scary stuff. Atsushi keeps going towards Sakamoto, demanding him to disappear. Sakamoto doesn't freak out, though. He just asks for silence, and things start to get crazy. Hayabusa and some other boys try to stop Atsushi, but he's determined to mess up Sakamoto's speech. Even though Atsushi keeps swinging the bat at Sakamoto, he dodges every time, almost like it's a cool stage play. Atsushi gets more and more mad, but Sakamoto stays cool. He even climbs up high, and Atsushi follows. At one point, Atsushi almost falls, and it worries everyone watching. But Sakamoto saves him just in time. Now, Atsushi is super angry and wants Sakamoto to let him go. He starts hitting Sakamoto's hands with the bat. People are starting to wonder if this whole thing was planned. Megumi wants to help, but Kubota tells her to trust Sakamoto and not get involved. Atsushi is mad at Sakamoto, accusing him of pretending to care when he never did. He keeps hitting Sakamoto, crying, and asking why Sakamoto is bothering about him. But Sakamoto sees something special in the way Atsushi shows his feelings. Atsushi doesn't believe him, so Sakamoto tells him to believe in himself. Sakamoto's hands are already bleeding from the hits, so he lets go of Atsushi. Just before Atsushi hits the ground, though, Sakamoto does something super smart. He uses his trousers like ropes to catch Atsushi and lower him down gently. Atsushi is moved that Sakamoto would go so far to save him. He lands safely, and holding Atsushi's hands, Sakamoto finishes his speech. Everyone claps and cheers. Now, the scene changes. Hayabusa is taking care of Sakamoto's wounded hands, and Atsushi is crying and saying sorry over and over. Hayabusa comforts him, saying they know it was all a plan by Fukase. Sakamoto heads to the infirmary for more treatment. But guess what? Fukase shows up and asks Sakamoto about everything. Sakamoto wonders if Fukase is graduating too, but Fukase says no. He shares this dark vision of life after graduation, like a scary sea where entering it means you're done for. He says that's why he doesn't want to graduate, watching others face this scary sea every year. Sakamoto finds this idea overwhelming and says he'd rather venture into the sea to discover something new. As Sakamoto leaves, he sees Hayabusa gearing up to fight Fukase. He stops him and suggests a better plan. When the graduation is wrapping up and everyone is leaving, Hayabusa and the other boys come in to congratulate Fukase. They distract him, and Sakamoto pulls off his secret move, the knee jerk. This makes Fukase fall into the crowd of students, and they push him out the door, super embarrassed. Kubota narrates that everything ends well. Atsushi doesn't get in trouble. Fukase doesn't come back to school and starts a new life. But on March 23rd, during the closing ceremony, Kubota shares a rumor that makes him sad and is later confirmed. Sakamoto tells everyone he's leaving to join a special program at an aerospace agency on the other side of the ocean. He's going to work on a project to take humans to Mars. Before he goes, his classmates and even the teacher try to embarrass him one last time. They throw pies at him, but he skillfully dodges them. As he says goodbye, they promise to do better and be successful while trying to hit him with pies. Just before he leaves, Hayabusa stops him and asks about going to the United States. Sakamoto doesn't give a straight answer. Sakamoto heads to the main gate, and his friends from the class window, with faces covered in pie, say goodbye and call him a good friend. It almost makes Sakamoto cry, but he doesn't show it. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.